Hey, this is Abe.
And this is Alexa.
Welcome to Get Out and Enjoy Life podcast, or GOAL.
Today we're talking about how we stay positive in the winter months.
Yeah, so here in Tacoma, or Washington, the winter months are quite long. What is it, like?
Really long.
Almost feels like 6 months, I think.
It's definitely gray for about 8 months of the year,
Yeah.
I would say. So it's very dreary. Definitely don't get a lot of vitamin D. So it's important to make sure you're busy during these months.
And have things to look forward to.
Yeah.
You've lived here your whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only been here for, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first started dating, we were driving in the cold winter months, especially between December and probably April.
Mm-hmm.
And that just turned into a huge fiasco of don't drive to get to places in the winter months, in
as
terms
in
of going
travel.
to other states.
Yeah.
And so we've kind of figured out, I think, really the in between, which is to take a flight to a close state that has some sunlight.
Yeah.
So we've been doing Las Vegas.
Yeah.
This is going to be our second year going there. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty cheap stay in terms of vacations go.
Yeah, the flights aren't that expensive from Washington. It's only about a 2.5 hour flight, maybe.
Yeah.
And hotels are decent, and it's just a fun place to be. There's a lot of activities to do. We love food, so we love going to restaurants, shows, events. Even just walking the Strip was really fun last time.
Yeah. And we didn't even really, I think, spend that much money in terms of being at Las Vegas. It was more the hotel and the flights.
There was a lot of people watching for sure. Yeah.
And then some of the other things that, I think that we just do on a daily basis when we're off is it's not as cheap, but going to a coffee shop,
Yes,
costs,
we love doing that.
$15 or something like that. But it gets you out of the apartment or out of your house for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And you can go see people watch, right? And just kind of
Definitely.
hang out outside of a space
Yeah,
and still be warm.
And sometimes we'll bring a board game. We've
Yeah.
done that in the past. Bring books, bring our laptops. Sometimes I work remotely at a coffee shop, which is really nice. And then Abe will come with me, and we kind of just make a time out of it, get a little coffee, a little pastry or something like that. And we figured out our favorite coffee places that we like to go to, which is really fun.
One of the other things I think that helps me is staying kind of to a schedule of sorts in terms of not sleeping until noon or 11 o'clock, even on my days off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just it's gloomy the whole day, and you're oh, it never got bright, and type of thing. So I think that has helped me a lot. And then I also have a daylight, which I'll use sometimes if it's the gloominess is really getting to me.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific things that you do?
Not really. I think Abe is really good at doing that. Me, not so much. I've lived here my whole life, so I'm used to it. But I feel like I've felt more of that lack of sunshine in recent years. I think when I was younger, I always had school going on. I had different activities I was a part of and things like that. And things definitely change as you get older. I'm focusing on work, and so is Abe. And in our last podcast, we talked a little bit about hobbies. So that's been really exciting for me to start doing.
Yeah.
I went to a yoga class yesterday by myself, and that was really nice. It was candlelit vinyasa.
That does sound nice.
And
they were real candles, you told me.
There were real candles, because when Abe and I went, I think last week or so, we went to a yoga studio that had a bunch of fake candles around. So she really lit candles this time, and there were only 6 of us in the class, so we definitely got some one-on-one help with our poses and things like that. But I've found that really exciting and something to look forward to, along with my pottery class that I'm in. So.
Yeah, having hobbies, I think that's a must in order to stay kind of positive. And then also, I think cooking is another big thing that it takes a lot of time actually to cook. I mean, tons of time. In terms of, it doesn't always require, some of it's almost passive time, because when you bake bread, it takes 5 or 7 hours, but it's not there's a lot of waiting time in between, but you got to kind of be there to tend to it a little bit. And then exercising, I think, is another big one that helps. Like whether you go to a gym or work out inside.
Yeah, we actually got a walking pad recently.
Yeah. And that was your idea, actually. I'd never heard of them.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people got them during the pandemic. I forgot it was my idea. But a lot of people got those during the pandemic. You know, you'd see these videos online of people at their desk that can raise up and down, and they would stick the walking pad underneath, and then they'd walk while they worked, so that they got their steps in by the time they were done working. I mean, it's kind of smart.
Yeah.
But we got one because while we do have a gym close to us in our apartment, it still feels like it's a lot of work sometimes to like go up there and make sure you get all dressed and go up the couple floors, and I don't know why. But so we got that. Abe always walks on it. I walked on it when we first got it. I feel like I need to get on it a bit more, but it's really nice. You can turn on the TV or listen to something at home and just be in the comfort of your own space, really, which is nice.
Yeah, and then also we have an exercise bike, which helps.
Yeah, and weights
as well.
Sometimes I do like workouts with weights, like on YouTube or something like that.
So
yeah,
those are the main ways I think that we kind of get out and about and stay positive during the winter months.
Yeah, I think also it's important to note, like, we go and see family. We go and spend time with people. Sometimes we go out to eat. Actually, it's been a long time since we've done that.
Yeah, because we're saving money for our wedding right now.
Yeah, but doing activities too is really fun, or, you know, just going to local events and things like that, seeing what's happening.
Yeah, like going out to eat. Like we were talking about, it feels like it's been forever, but I think it's only been like 4 weeks, like a month.
That's still a long time for us.
I know. Yeah.
For us.
Which, like, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes like that's what we do. That's our thing to do, is go out to eat, and whether it means going to a restaurant or going to like almost like a food court type of situation. It's a fancy food court situation, like it's called Metropolitan Market.
Yeah, we love that.
Which is like kind of like a health food store. It's kind of like a Whole Foods.
It's like a Whole Foods, but smaller. Yeah. More like community based. I don't know.
And then, or sometimes we just go to Taco Bell, which like that's our preferred restaurant,
preferred
fast food restaurant.
A lot of options for vegetarians or pescatarians or whatever.
So all the beans and everything else. And like going to Taco Bell, oh my gosh, it's always an experience. I think like, you know, the staff there there's always something going on, whether it's like,
well, we go and sit inside. Let's say that, because not everybody does that. A lot of people go through the drive-through. No, we make a date of it. Yeah. We go and sit inside and order our food. Yeah. Because why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
And people are like arguing behind the counter or things of that sort, or
interesting people.
Yeah, there's always interesting people there. So yeah, I think doing that. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else too. I know in other colder months, like, you know, when it's October, there's a lot of things going on for Halloween, or like when it's Christmas time, because we celebrate Christmas, there's always a lot of events. Like we went to the Victorian Christmas this past year.
And you usually always find some sort of like event going on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you said it's not posted anywhere else a lot of the time. A lot of times it's only on Facebook.
I find a lot of stuff on Facebook. That's literally all I go on Facebook for, actually, is to look at events.
And I don't have Facebook, so when I try to look for things, I can't ever find anything.
Yeah. I've definitely thought about deleting my Facebook, but then I'm like, how would I know about the events going on?
It's nuts. Even when I deleted my Facebook, it took forever to delete it, because like Facebook makes it so that if you access, Facebook stays active for 30 days after you delete it, but then if you access it at any point during those 30 days, it restarts the timer of the 30 days. And so it took me like, I feel like 3 months to actually delete it, because I had to access my Facebook for like something, like a password, because it was tied to other accounts, or even when I didn't mean to access it. And then, you know, we go to, I think, neighboring towns, cities.
Yeah, we love to do that.
We went to Vashon Island, which is
this past week.
Yeah, which is a little ferry ride away. It's like
about 20 minutes.
Is it 20 minutes?
I think so.
Yeah, you can take your car on it. It's, I think, like $30
round trip.
Yeah, so $15 each way, and it's a cute little town. There's
the little downtown area. Right. They have like some galleries and some little shops with like clothes and food. There's restaurants. I really liked the little pharmacy that they had. It wasn't really it was a pharmacy, but they had a lot of trinkets and bags
kind of
and
like
pottery.
An old-style pharmacy type thing.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of everything there, kitchen stuff. So it was fun to watch.
It was surprising to me how big the art scene was there.
Yeah.
On this island. I think it was more of kind of like a hippie like style. A lot of people that, during the 60s, I think, moved there. But now it seems like they were saying a lot of tech people are moving there and more money is kind of moving there. They were saying, we talked to some ladies in the art studio and they were saying that, I guess, plots there are like, they made it so it has to come with 5 acres, which...
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah, which sounds like a lot of money.
Yeah. It's a lot of space.
It's a lot of space, too,
I feel like you can't get that anywhere lately.
Anywhere, and then, it would be millions, I would feel like.
Oh, my gosh, because,
a house with a little tiny backyard is $1 million.
Yeah, depending on where you're at.
Yeah, literally. Or 500,000.
I mean, if you're in Seattle, easy.
Right. even Puyallup area, that's 500, 800,000 there. That's for not even an acre.
Yeah.
So
it all depends on the area that you're in. But it was a cute little visit, I'd say. It's a good little day trip, for a few hours.
Vashon Island, yeah.
Yeah, Vashon Island.
Or just going out to the park and walking around, getting out. Even though here in Western Washington, at least, the sun doesn't shine, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily raining.
Yeah.
So I feel like for a good couple of months, or a lot of the months, it's overcast, but doesn't rain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
right
it's
now,
just kind of cold-ish. We just got past some very cold weather where it was like 16 degrees at night.
Yeah.
Or maybe 20 degrees during the day. But now I'd say it's about like 40s or 50s or something like that, which is totally doable. If you're from here or you've lived here, it's totally fine. You can just go out with your rain jacket and be okay. But it is important to find things to do because I swear if you move here, and you can tell me from your experience, if you're not used to this gray weather, it can be really difficult.
I think it was easier for me to move here, even though I was born and raised in Maui. I lived 3 years in Montana, Great Falls, Montana, and that's a dry highland desert. So, and it's cold there, and there's no greenery. The big thing for me here is that there's greenery. Some things, lose their leaves and such, but the grass generally stays green in the winter.
Yeah, totally. And it's the evergreen state, so we always have green trees.
Exactly. So I think that's a big thing for me that makes it feel not as wintry as Montana. It doesn't snow as much here, but as easier to live in, even though it's not super bright. The sun would shine in Montana, but all the grass would be dead.
Yeah.
There's expanses of prairies depending where you're at. So
yeah, what also makes the difference for me is that we're not in a landlocked area, which I don't know why that makes all the difference, but it does. And we get we live near some body of water, and I don't know, it's really nice to even just walk over there or go into those areas where you can kind of hear the waves and things like that. It's
also
very meditative.
I think after living in Montana, it's a landlocked state, obviously, and I don't think I'll ever live in another landlocked state again, just because I like seeing the water. I grew up seeing the water, but also in cities or states that have water or are on the coast, you have a lot more influx of different types of cultures and people just because they're ports, right?
Yeah, totally.
The Port of Tacoma is a huge port, and Seattle's
Port of Seattle.
Port of Seattle.
Yeah.
They have an international airport, and sometimes states will say, "Oh, we have an international airport," but it's one flight to Canada or something like that, and that's what makes it international. So,
have you been to something like that?
That's in Great Falls. Yeah, they call it an international airport. Not rag on it, but It's a very cute, like, you know, safe. No, but yeah, but like the the person that checks you in also is the person that checks you in to get your ticket and stuff. Also walks up with you past security to go check you in onto the plane.
Wow.
And so, yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Definitely different than here.
Yeah. Oh, way different. Like TSA there, I was passing through, and it's, you know, there's a lot of farmers there hunting, and I was passing through TSA there, and some person in front of me had ammunition on them, actually. And they didn't have a gun, they just had their ammunition. They're like, the TSA was like, oh, you want to take that and go put it back in your car? And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. And they went and let them have the ammunition, had it go put in your car. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Like, oh, sorry about that, but I knew I was bringing it in.
Yeah. I mean, he sounded like he forgot, but like, yeah. But like, if you did that at like Seattle at our airport, I mean, you'd be like probably locked in a room, I would guess.
Literally, one of the times I more recently flew, I had a bottle of lotion in my bag, and I got stopped by the dog.
Yeah.
And then I had to be held in this little like square box with this other guy because he had to walk we had to walk in pairs, like by the dog, and the dog like bumped my leg or something, and they're like, oh, it's you, you know, like, so touchy.
Yeah. So
I had nothing. It just, I had nothing.
It's interesting. Like, so even though it's, you know, an airport still, so yes, it's an international airport, I think, because it has flights to Canada, but as, you know, on the border as well. So, Tacoma, I really like Tacoma. Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff to do here, and then also
a lot of charm.
Yeah,
too.
A lot of charm, really. It's not trying to be something it's not. I feel like it's
it has all of its little pockets.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Seattle, there are a lot of different neighborhoods here, but similarly in Tacoma, there's a lot of different neighborhoods here as well. You know, so
and a lot of people are moving here. Actually, it seems like.
Yeah,
I mean,
too,
fortunately,
makes me
unfortunately.
Makes me a little worried.
Like, anytime people move to a place, I feel like the prices probably go up just because. Yeah. So, I enjoy Washington. I could see living here the rest of my life, but who knows? You know, we love to travel.
We love it.
So who knows where it'll take us? But thank you for joining us on Get Out and Enjoy Life podcast.
We hope you get out and enjoy life in whatever way that means to you, whether it's traveling, seeing a family member, seeing a friend, taking a walk around the block, anything like that. We hope you get out and explore.
Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.